Hey there, everybody. Thought I'd do something different. We'll do a little live stream from the old garage here. Show you guys what I'm going to be working on a little bit today and tell you a little bit about what we're going to do to it. So, this is going to be kind of a pain without a selfie stick or a tripod. But hopefully the audio is decent. So those that have been following the channel for a while knew that I used to have a 2014 Ram 2500 with a Cummins. We have ditched that and gone to this. It's kind of hard to really see what I'm doing here. But anyway, this is Taylor. How are you doing? This is a 2017 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali Unlimited. I know that's a mouthful. Lakeside Ranch, how are you doing? But this truck has a 6.2 in it, so it is a gas burner. And when I bought this truck, it had leveling kit in the front. So this little spacer. Ken, how are you doing, Ken? So I took the leveling kit out to get it a little bit lower to the ground. And then in the back end, you can see we got a lot of fender clearance. So what I'm gonna do, and you guys can hate on me if you want, it doesn't matter, but Taro, how are you? So I got this kit from Max Track Suspensions, and I bought it myself. I ordered it online. I didn't call them first. They have no idea this video is even going to be out there. But what these are lowering shackles. And yes, this is a four-wheel drive truck, so this might be sacrilegious, but I'm going to lower this truck in the back end to level it out. And I'm going to tell you why. My goal for this truck, Taylor asked, is it two-wheel drive? No, it's four-wheel peel. I'll tell you why I'm lowering it. My goal for this truck is to make 650 horse. Right now, stock, the 6.2 is 420 horse, 460 foot-pounds of torque. And I'm going to shoot for about 650 horse and 650 foot-pounds of torque, which is the same numbers as a Z06 Corvette. So anyway, I haven't given anybody a tour of this truck, and I've already done a few things to it, but this is really hard to do with the camera the way it is. So I tinted the top of the windshield. There's a video of it. I haven't posted it yet. I was actually standing on my console with myself poked up through the sunroof to do it. Tinted the brow, hardwired my unit in R7, which helps alleviate unnecessary meetings with law enforcement. And then added this neat little knob here. And what that is for, keep in mind, I'm just a big kid. I put a seat lift in the back, did that myself, made my own seat lift. Randy from G4 Outdoors will recognize that because that's where I got that. That is a Rockford Fosgate, what is that, HX2 12 in a 1.71 cubic foot sealed box. And then behind the seat is an audio controlled DQ61 and a Scar Audio 1200 watt amp. So that's what I've done to it so far. Oh, losing viewers, dropping like flies. So anyway, on the agenda for today is going to be that leveling kit where we're going to drop the back end a little bit. And Jacob Metcalf, how are you? I've got all my camera gear out here, so I'm going to try to record it. I've only found a couple of videos of someone putting that leveling kit in, and the videos, I mean, I can't say they aren't good. But Zach Porter, how are you doing? But I'm going to try to make a better video of someone installing that kit. We'll see how it goes. Lighting might be an issue. Andy B, how are you? But for lighting, I got this cool little light that I got this from Andy with Cut and Clean TV and G4 Outdoors. So we'll use that underneath the truck. Let's see if we can get some decent video. Someone just asked, and these comments don't stay up on my screen when I'm using my phone. Someone asked how big my garage is. It's a three car garage. I haven't actually measured it. Maybe 25 by 32 or so. I'm using every square inch of it when we have my truck and my wife's car in here. Willard Osborne, how are you doing? Also, I get asked a lot during live streams, how's the hammer coming? And I got to tell you guys, I owe you guys an apology for being a procrastinator on this thing, but I'll show you a hammer while we're out here in the garage. So there is Thor's hammer. It's getting there. Right now, I'm guessing it weighs right around 800 pounds. And once I get the rest of the plates welded on, it'll be, 1,500, thereabouts, 15 or so. And then another plan that I have, just to kind of break things up, because on this channel, it seems like a lot of what I do is tanks, houses, and cell towers. So I'm trying to add some stuff to break the monotony of crane work with setting tanks, houses, and cell towers. So another idea I had is strap a camera to that and do like I don't know, ride around town. We've got a pretty nice parkway system and some parks, and I thought I would do like a motorcycle Mondays segment. As long as the weather's nice, strap a camera on it, ride around, get some footage on Mondays and upload it, or do it on the weekend, upload it on Mondays. So let me know what you guys think of that. Try to do it in like a first person view, like you guys were riding through town. But I was gonna set this phone up and try to install this kit live. I was just afraid that there might be some colorful language. Taylor, got to do something to stay sane right now. I wonder how I can get comments to stay up here. Okay, it looks like we might be able to keep comments up. I don't know, we'll see. Willard Osborne, how are you doing? If I didn't already say that. But what else do you guys want to see in the old garage? This is where I build most of the stuff that I work on. That light that I worked on for the crane, that was done in here. This is primarily where I make my messes. And also, another reason why it's tough to work on the old hammer in here, if I drag the hammer out, start welding and cutting on it, even if I work on it for 30 minutes, it's 3 hours of cleaning up after it. There is black dust all over everything in here. Taylor asked what kind of air compressor I've just got. Let's see if I can make my way over here. There's not much room between the truck and the door. I've just got a little Cobalt 21-gallon air compressor in here, I think. And you guys remember there was a video of me building that, which is the air dryer. And I've kind of semi-temporarily plumbed an airline up and around. Disregard all that stuff. Up and around to a Cobalt hose reel. So one thing I'm learning about having shelving in garages, it becomes a fantastic place just to store a bunch of junk. So yeah, I don't have much for an air compressor. I would like to I've got a storage area in my basement that is just adjacent to my garage. So eventually I'd like to put a 60-gallon air compressor in my basement in that storage area and then hard plumb it into my garage. That way I don't have to listen to it running in the garage. It doesn't take up floor space. And the storage area I have in my basement's pretty huge, so it's not like it would be an issue in there. Then if you guys could tell me how the audio and stuff is. It feels like it's echoey in here to me, but especially being on my phone. And while I'm sitting here, I'll show you guys a cool thing GMC did on these trucks if you haven't ever seen it. So they've got power steps on them. But if you're short like me, I'm 5'8", if you need to get stuff out of the bed, you can hit a button on the back of the running board and it pops out to bedside. So someone was thinking when they designed that. And I've got some video edited. Need to get it uploaded. One of them's an hour and 35 minutes long. Another one's gonna come in right around 35 minutes. Let's see. Taylor said I need to do that in my garage too. What did I do? I hate this. I wonder if comments will stay on if I keep this upright. Oh no, it told me to rotate the price back. You guys can tell I don't do this with my phone very often. Yeah, it's hard to keep up with comments if they're long because they only stay up on my phone screen for about, I don't know, 15 seconds, if that, 10 seconds. But yeah, I'm kind of wanting to diversify some stuff on the old channel. I know it's To the Top Crane, and it's primarily crane stuff. But it's just the same stuff over and over again. I feel like, anyway. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I just feel like it's the same stuff over and over again. And it's really hard to get excited to put it out there because it's like, oh, there's another tank. Oh, well, we just picked another tank. Oh, we got a house to go do. Well, I've already done, I don't know, I bet I've done 15 houses in the last 12 months. So Taylor said he enjoyed seeing it. So, I'm just afraid of making everybody bored by showing the same stuff over and over again. And if anybody's wondering, ice water. It's too early in the day for anything other than ice water. Yeah, this is it. This is the old garage. Oh, I shot some footage. I'll show you guys this thing on the wall over there. King 2042, how are you doing? This is where'd that comment go? Just don't put kitten videos on your channel. I'm not putting kitten videos on. So that little, everything's backwards. That little thing right there sticking out of that piece of plywood, that's a smoke extractor, part of a smoke extractor that I made for when I'm working on the hammer. Kind of a funny story. First night I worked on the hammer, I filled this garage with so much smoke that it started infiltrating the house, and I basically smoked everybody out in our house. So I made that little smoke extractor, and I hook it up to that piece of ductwork that has a hood at the bottom, and put it over the top of the hammer, and it extracts all the smoke out of the garage. Dave G, how are you doing? Also, I've got another little surprise under that trash bag, right in front of the motorcycle, right there. That is I was told it's a unicorn. It's a 327 out of a Massey Ferguson combine. And to my understanding, I don't know how much truth there is, but we're going to find out. I was told that those are the only 327 Chevys with 4-bolt mains and steel cranks. So there's a lot of 327s out there with steel cranks, but they're all 2-bolt main. Supposedly Chevy never ever made a 4-bolt main 327. However, the research I've done, some say that there are 327s with 4-bolt mains, and some say they don't exist. But if you look up in any Chevy parts magazines or read any articles, there's nothing out there about them. So one of these days, we're going to crack that engine open and we're going to see exactly what it's got in it. Josh Wellner, how you doing? So hopefully it's a 4-bolt main 327. If it is, and from the research I've done, they're worth a ton of money. But my plan is someday build it and put it in something. I think if it is in fact a 4-bolt main 327, also the industrial Chevy engines, I guess they use a higher nickel content. So the blocks are very durable and withstand a lot of cylinder pressure. So if it is a 4-bolt main high nickel 327, I'm thinking a pair of turbos with some fuel injection and right around 1,000 horsepower would go good in something. Robert Myers said, hey, I figured out how to get comments to come back up. I enjoyed it as a newer crane hand. I like to see as much as I can, always learning. Local 18 proud. Jimmy, did you see where Manitowoc is asking the federal government to look into all of the imported cranes with Liberty mags? Yeah, I saw that. Manitowoc's complaining. They're saying, hey, there's copyright infringement or patent infringement going on. And realistically, that goes on across the industry. And, Manitowoc, not all that long ago, I read an article, but not all that long ago, Manitowoc rented a Tadano, what was it? A Tadano RT and had it at their facility for over a year. And then all of a sudden they came out with a 160-ton RT that shares some similarities, I guess, with that Tadano RT that they rented. So I would say Manitowoc's not exactly not guilty themselves of some of that stuff. Taylor Aldridge says as they're importing their all-terrains from Germany. So yeah, it's I don't think they've got a leg to stand on with that. They can ask all they want, but really, and here's my way of thinking. If it makes a crane safer, if someone's copying a design that makes a crane safer, why would anybody complain about that? They should be sharing that information. At least I feel that way. Yeah, Taylor says, I agree, Jimmy. Their share price has dropped 50% in the last year, is what it comes down to. Yeah, I think what it is, I'm not a fan of Sandy cranes, but they've gained a little market share. Tadano's gained a lot of market share. I just think that they're upset because, they're losing ground to people. But I'm here to tell you, I guarantee you the Manitowoc engineers, they're picking apart competitors' machines and applying technology. They can't tell me they're not. That's how you stay competitive in a world like this, is you take what you can learn from your competitors, and if it's a good system, change a little something on it and apply it. Anthony Ray, how are you doing? Drew Bradley, hey, caught a live show. Glad to see all as well. Still recovering from shoulder surgery, but doing well. That's good, Drew. I've had shoulder surgery before. It sucks. And yeah, this is kind of a different live show. I'm mixing it up a little bit. I could be sitting down in the crane cave in front of the old in front of the old desktop and doing this, but I figured, hey, why not mix it up some? Dave G, 350 block and Big Journal 327 are the same. You can take a 4-bolt 350 block, put a 327 crank in it, but it has to be a Big Journal, and you have a 4-bolt main 327. Didn't think of that. John Z asked, what's the casting number on the 327 block? I don't know. Actually, you guys want to wait a few minutes? I'll move the scooter out of the way. We'll drag that engine over. We'll rip the plastic bag off of it, and we'll see if we can just zip the oil pan off of it now and see what it looks like. I mean, you guys let me know in comments. We'll get it over with. I've had that engine for 3 years and I haven't cracked it open. Susan Lieber and D-Mag are making larger cranes, 450, 550 ton with 200 plus foot of boom. Manitowoc wants to make an outdated 550 197. And that's a good question. Ever have RF interference come through the boom down to the hook and pick? If you ground the crane, you shouldn't have any of that, but yeah, it can happen. Anthony Ray, have you done anything to Thor's hammer? Anthony Ray, do you want to see Thor's hammer? I showed it earlier, but where's that? There it is. So we'll, I may work on it tomorrow. Drew Bradley, thanks for that. Alex, let's do it. Death K, yes. John Z, let's get that pan off. Sure, go for it. King, why is my blow the dust off the spanners? All right, I'm gonna set my phone down. I'll roll the scooter out of the way. We'll drag that thing over here. Probably gonna make a mess because it may still have oil in it, but hey, who knows? All right, I guess let's just get the party started. We're all gonna find out together right now on a live stream what it's got. Is it a 4-bolt or a 2-bolt? See if I can keep from crashing into my truck with the scooter. You guys are gonna have to talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Oh, I need a bigger garage. See if we can turn this down here a little bit where everybody can see. Okay, that's probably not going to work out. Okay, if it doesn't fall, Billy may give that back. John Z, 1/2 inch and 7/16 sockets with extensions. Drew Bradley says, welcome to the show. Everybody, please note, remember to be kind to one another, refrain from talking. Yeah, I don't know if I missed something, but yeah. Drew, thanks for mentioning that. This thing's been sitting for a day or two. It's pretty rusty. It's the old dipstick. And like I said, it may have oil in it. I don't know. We're gonna know in a minute. Wonder how many lifters are gonna fall out. Oh wow, the old engine stand needs some oil too. And this, like I said, this is straight out of a Massey Ferguson combine. So, trying to what do I got? Live chat, all messages are visible. I must be missing some comments. Okay, I'm gonna, let's see. We could go with air, but that's gonna be noisy. Let's go with electric. Get the old impact, little DeWalt impact driver out. 1/4-inch drive ought to get it. Hopefully it's got a decent battery in it. Half-inch and 9/16 extension. Well, we're losing some people. Been a while since I've pulled one of these. Got no timing cover on the front, do we? Oh yeah, we still got timing cover on. Of course we do. Oh, half-inch 7/16. Half-inch at the corners, 7/16 on the sides. So much crap built up in it, you can't even see the bolts on that side. A little dirty. Scratch that, it's a lot dirty. Should have hit this with the old pressure washer first. But I wasn't anticipating doing this. I was going to save it for another show. Too late to turn back now. I don't know how many hours this engine had on it, but it was a bunch. Okay, they say not to pry with a screwdriver, but Snap-on will replace them. All right, here's the moment of truth. Do we have any wagers? Let's see. You can melt one of those blocks down and make 14 Honda Civics. All right, so do we have any wagers? Is it going to be a 4-bolt or is it going to be a 2-bolt main? And this is, in fact, a 327 out of the Massey Ferguson combine from 70, I think. King 2042 drum roll. Does it have starter bolt holes on the right side? I've heard some didn't. Bell housing mount only starter. Good question. It does, in fact, have starter bolt holes. No, wait. Scrape some crap off here and see. Okay, there are bolt holes, but they're not threaded. Drew Bradley says pretty heavy casting. I'm betting 4-bolt. King says 4-bolt. Here we go. Oh, it's a 2-bolt main. Oh well. So I got a 2-bolt main 327 out of a Massey Ferguson combine. And it's rusty. It's rusty. But you can see it is in fact a 2-bolt block. Still looks like a steel crank. So all is not lost. A person could machine it, and if it is a high nickel block, we could machine it, put some splayed main caps in it. King 2042. I say 2-bolt. Haha. It is in fact a 2-bolt. Well, that answers the question I've been wondering for a long time. Warp 65er, yep, you hit it. Make it a displayed 4-bolt. John Z, that is a forged crank. So, honestly, it might be better that it is a 2-bolt block, because adding splayed main caps would probably be a better option if we're going to make a lot of horsepower. I was still kind of hoping that it was a 4-bolt main 327. Drew Bradley still worth building up? Oh yeah, absolutely. It's still worth. I mean, I'll strip it the rest of the way down, hot tank it, have it machined, and we'll do something with it sooner or later. I don't know when. I've got a lot of other irons in the fire. It does have a little bit of oil left in it because it is now leaking on the floor. So I'm going to put the oil pan, I'm just going to set it back on it, wrap it back up in a plastic bag, roll it back over in the corner, because if I let it sit there, I'm going to end up getting sidetracked off of the laundry list of stuff that I've already got to do, which is a lot of stuff. I tend to overextend myself at times. I'm like, hey, that's cool, we can do that, and then I'll start on something, and then I'll think of something else, and before you know it, I got 25 projects, and 24 of them aren't finished. So there's that. Oh, John Z, turn it back over, get the casting number. Okay, let's look at the casting number. We do have some numbers here right by the oil filter that, oddly enough, with the engine block upside down, the numbers are right side up. Let's get a casting number for John. I need to put some grease in this thing. Oh wow. Might end up dumping it over if I'm not careful. That thing just does not want to turn very well. Show you how dirty that engine is, though. She's pretty nasty. Let's see if we can turn it from this side without turning everything over. All right, casting numbers. If anybody's ready to write, John Z, pencil and paper time. 397-0010. And this engine stand sucks. I don't even know why I covered up with a trash bag with as dirty and oily as it is, but probably has a lot to do with all the grinding and welding and stuff that I do in here when I'm working on the hammer. Well, set that back out of the way. Well, I guess the fact that I don't have a 4-bolt 327 and I got a 6-bolt 6.2 in my truck, that makes up for it. So there's that. Yep, there we go. John Z, that's the 4-inch bore block. Could be 327, 350. You need numbers stamped in front row. Oh, crap. I already covered it back up. I don't know that they used any 350s in a combine. I'm not sure. Someone smarter than me will have to answer that. I do know it's kind of muggy in the old garage. I've got an air conditioner that I set up in here during the summer. I need to get that set back up. Call me spoiled, but I do kind of like having air conditioning when I'm working on stuff. But project for today is going to be these from Max Track Suspension. Seem to be pretty good build on these. Good powder coating, polyurethane bushings. The welds look good. Oh, warp 65er, turn on smoke extractor fan. I could do that, or I could just open my garage doors. It's pretty nice outside. But then you have to listen to anything that's going on outside, and then everybody outside has to listen to me sitting here talking. So oh, any of my videos that you guys have seen that I've recorded from in the garage, did you guys hear that kind of ringy sound when I set these down? I'll tell you why in just a minute. But Taylor asked, any reason you got rid of your RAM? Really, the biggest reasons why I got rid of the RAM or one of them, are government overstepping and just killing the aftermarket market as far as emissions and whatnot. Most of the stuff that goes on or happens with the newer diesel trucks, is emissions related. Back in the day, the Cummins engines were basically bulletproof. The old mechanical 5.9s, I mean, those things would run forever. And then the EPA said, hey, our diesel trucks are polluting too much, so we need to clamp down on that market. And then they clamped down even harder. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason is I couldn't really justify having a diesel truck, just for the simple fact that from the maintenance standpoint, they're really expensive. You lose a set of injectors, there's $3,000. The transmissions are notoriously not that good, and I've heard of a few of the trucks, even run on factory settings, would puke the transmission at 150,000. I was at 79,000. So I figured the best time for me to unload it would have been less than 100,000 miles, when I could get some good money out of it. And I was ready for a change, I guess. And saw the old 6.2 Denali and thought to myself, well, I got to have it. And here we are. But it was a great truck. That 6.7 Cummins, it pulled like a freight train. I couldn't say anything bad about it. It was a good running truck. It's a lot of money per mile to run it down the road, and couldn't justify it. Drew said, just look up that block number, shows up as wrong in my book, automotive book 9397010, small block V8, 1969, 302 4-bolt Camaro Z28, and clearly not a 4-bolt. Yeah, it's obviously not a 4-bolt block. We learned that together. I was all excited, thought I had the only 4-bolt 327 in the world. Oh well. So anyway, this truck, I'm gonna have a little fun with it. I don't know when the supercharger will happen. I know it will happen at some point. I really am kind of up in the air on which kit to use. I think Magnuson makes a pretty decent supercharger kit for the 6.2. It makes it about 580 horse, which is, I think it equates to 480 at the back tires, which is pretty respectable, especially in a four-wheel drive truck. Hennessy makes the kit that I would really like to have. It's 650 horse, 650 foot-pounds of torque, but it's also right around $1,500 higher. So I don't know. We'll see. I got plenty of time to worry about that. Maybe one of them will watch this video and say, hey, we'll make a video on it and we'll give you some kickback or something. I don't know. Or I guess I could reach out to them and be like, hey, this is what I'm planning on doing. You guys want to jump on board with that? Who knows? They may end up just charging me more. But yeah, that's why step one is to get it a little lower to the ground. Kind of going for the whole sport truck thing, but still make it functional. I don't necessarily want triple digit top speeds, but I would like to get this truck to a low 4-second 0 to 60, and if I could hit high threes, would be phenomenal. But that's probably gonna take more than 650 horse. But if I could get low to mid 4-second 0 to 60 times out of it, that to me would be pretty impressive with a crew cab four-wheel drive truck, and still have it functional, you know, where I can still go throw stuff in the back of it, haul it around. I can still hook onto my camper and pull it. Still have a functional truck, but, you know, fast truck. And currently, I mean, the 0 to 60 time on its stock, I think, is 5.4, which is still pretty stinking fast for a four-wheel drive crew cab truck. But by today's standards, it's, with as far as cars go, it's not overly fast. I guess my goal is to go out and spit out the ice cube. I guess my goal is to go out and make some Mustang and Camaro owners unhappy. Getting a phone call, spam risk. We'll go ahead and delete that or decline that one. Yeah, if we could go out and beat up on some Mustangs and Camaros, that to me would be a little bit of fun. But do it responsibly. That's the key. And I was going through my computer yesterday and looking at the footage that I have saved, and I ran across that footage of when we took my brother's Mercedes GLS AMG out and were beating on it. And we were terribly irresponsible, but I still think I need to edit that footage and upload it. It's pretty wild. Oh, got a voicemail out of that one. Warp 65 or a little bit ago said Whipple Charger. Taylor Aldridge, I agree. I like a level low truck too, but like having four-wheel drive. So yeah, it's still going to be four-wheel drive. I'm not taking that out. I'm guessing with 650 horse, in order to get it to go anywhere in a straight line, I'm probably going to have to launch it in four-wheel drive. Whether or not the front differential and transfer case is happy with that is yet to be determined. We may hit the skinny pedal and spit out a parts store on the ground. Who knows? But if we put the supercharger on it, we've got to run it. So whatever else is connected to the crankshaft, if it decides to, it's either going to go or blow, one or the other. And we'll tackle the problems as they arise, I guess. So if it blows the transfer case up, then we'll have to make it stronger. If it blows the front diff out of it, I guess we'll have to make that stronger. Hopefully it doesn't blow the front drive shaft and send it through the bottom of the block, engine block. That would be bad. I mean, just a bare bones 6.2 for these. If I'm not mistaken, it's right around $8,000. It's an aluminum block, aluminum heads, 6-bolt main, steel crank. The difference between these 6.2s and the ones in the Corvette's forged pistons, and I believe H-beam rods. But that can also be changed in this, so I don't know. We'll see. Drew Bradley, have you watched any Banks videos? Kind of salty, but the warranty can't be beat and doesn't mess with your factory warranty either. John Z said, do I know the rear end gear ratio in the new truck? It is, I believe, a 323. So it's pretty high geared, but it's got an 8-speed in it. And from what I was reading, first gear, based on the gearing in the transmission and the rear end gear, first gear is about equivalent to a 456 or so. So it leaves the line pretty hard now. And that's with 420 horsepower naturally aspirated. I'm guessing that thing with forced induction is probably going to be a handful. In a good way. I guess in a good way. We'll find out sooner or later. But I mean, that supercharger kit, it may be a year down the road. So don't everybody go getting excited, especially now that I don't have a 4-bolt 327 that I could build and sell to fund that supercharger kit. So it may be a little while. I guess I could sell my scooter and buy it, but then I'd be down a scooter. But anyway, I think I'm gonna get started on this whole drop shackle kit, see how that goes, and maybe upload a video. I would try to do something tomorrow or Monday. Drew Bradley, darn, watching somebody else spend their money is so much fun. I spent money on these. It wasn't a lot. I think it was $100. Oh, also, this truck has MagnaRide, which is a blessing and a curse. So this whole suspension modifying thing, it can be kind of tricky on these MagnaRide trucks. I've got an idea for a workaround on it, but we'll see how it goes. What it consists of, stupid fly. The MagnaRide in these trucks, it has sensors at all 4 corners that monitor the attitude of the truck, whether it's got some body roll or if it's squatting or diving, nose diving from braking, or squatting from towing or acceleration, or leaning from throwing it into a turn. It also helps soak up bumps and potholes. They ride really smooth going down the road, and when you do throw it into a corner, you can feel the MagnaRide taking the body roll out of it. But if you change anything on the ride height on them, it gives them fits. And so I'm probably going to have to cut the sensor rods and adjust the length on the sensor rods. They're made out of stainless. I don't have my welder set up to TIG, so I'll show you guys how I'm going to work around that in the video. Maybe pass that information on to someone else, but I got an idea. Whether or not it works is yet to be determined, but we won't know unless we try it. So I don't know, we'll see how that goes. And I can tell you the MagnaRide on these is stupid expensive. Luckily, one of my front struts was leaking, and luckily I got it replaced under warranty. I had 100 miles left on my bumper to bumper warranty, and they replaced both MagnaRide struts in the front under warranty, and the GM dealer charges $750 a strut uninstalled, which to me is ludicrous. So if the MagnaRide ever does go bad on this, I'm going to delete it and just put coilovers in the front and do something different in the back and be done with it. I'm not going to spend $1,500 on front struts when that could go towards the supercharger fund. So there's that. Drew Bradley says, well, if it makes you feel any better on spending money, I have about $19,000 in 1993 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I will never see that money back. But if you get to have fun with it, I mean, it's not money wasted. Very seldom can you do anything to a vehicle to get your money back. I mean, we do stuff to our vehicles because we enjoy the result, not because we're looking to make money on it. Case in point, my brother has a K5 Blazer, 1970, I think, that he has completely stripped it down, sent the frame off for powder coat, tore the axles down, had the axle housings powder coated, um, replaced every nut, bolt, screw, washer, every inch of wiring. It's going to be a brand new Blazer. It's got it's a crate engine transmission package. I can't remember which engine's in it. I think it's going to be a 6-liter with a 4L60E. No expense spared on this truck, and I don't know that he'll ever see his return on that investment. I do know that it's getting a $10,000 paint job, and it's black. It's just all black, and it was $10,000. So yeah, next time I go to Texas, I'll get some footage of that for you guys, because he is indeed down in Texas. So next time I'm down there, I'll take the camera with me and we'll record the old Blazer. Old square bodies. It's actually it's pre-square body. It's a 68 to 72 body style, rounded hood and fenders. So anyway, I've been talking almost an hour in my garage. Unless you guys want to chat about something else, I'm gonna throw a jack under the back of this truck. And Drew Bradley said there isn't many of those left, so he might be okay money-wise. I don't know. D. McDonald, how are you doing? Has just tuned in. Hope all is well. I don't know, Drew. That's he's gonna have a fortune in it. More than what I paid for my first house. Almost as much as what I paid for my second house. So, yeah. Whether or not he gets that out of it, I don't know. Supposedly one sold at Barrett Jackson that was similar for about 170,000. So it may work out, but I don't know. Wow, we keep gaining viewers. I hate to bail off here with people joining in. So I guess we'll just keep going for a little bit. See, what do you guys want to talk about? Since we're out here in the old garage. Oh, I guess one thing I can do, I can ask your guys' opinion on something. I bought this bike the way it sits. One, I hate those mirrors. I think they're tacky. This thing's dusty. But it has this little graphic on the front fender, or on the front fairing. Ditch it, keep it. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it, I guess. It kind of goes with, I guess I can get this back down here. It's got some similar, I don't know if you can see it, some similar paint work down there. I don't know. I was thinking about pulling the front fairing off and painting over it and doing away with that. I'm also thinking I may paint the jugs. The engine case is black. Travis Higley, if you don't love it, it's not right. Then that's true. But I'm thinking about changing all the chrome to copper. So it'd be copper and black instead of chrome and black. Blacken the wheels out. If I do change all the chrome to copper, I'm going to have to wrap the headers for about the first 2.5 feet or so with black header wrap, because the chrome or the copper won't stay on the headers because of the heat. But I could wrap them about the first 2 feet or so, 2.5 feet, with the black header wrap, and then do the rest of the chrome pipe in copper. But I think it'd be something unique. Do away with, here, I'll show you guys all the chrome that's on it. So think about doing away with all the chrome, replacing it with copper color, and blacking out the wheels, just so it's different. Which, hey, it's another project. I should really put a calendar out here, or a planner, and start writing in it so I can start getting this stuff done. I am definitely not starting on it until I get some of this other stuff knocked off the list, the hammer being one of them. But yeah, I guess you guys are right. If it's not right, or if I don't like it, then it's not right. So I have to pull the fairing off and have it painted. Drew Bradley says, looks like a front magnesium Triumph wheel. It is. I don't know if it's a magnesium or aluminum wheel, but it's not a Triumph wheel. It's a stock wheel. Luckily, a buddy of mine owns a powder coat shop, so I can have the wheels powder coated for free. Which I just got to take them off, break them down, get the bearings knocked out of them, get the rubber off of them, and valve stems yanked out of them, and he'll powder coat them for me. Taylor says, how far is Blue Hat Crane from me? Blue Hat Crane is about an hour away. So I don't know where you're located, Taylor, but yeah, Blue Hat is an hour south. They're in Kansas City. Yeah, I got so much to do. I need 2 of me. I need 10 of me. I don't think the world would handle 10 of me, but if I had 10 of me, I could put all 10 in a different direction and get all my projects done pretty quick. Taylor, Blue Hat is a pretty decent sized outfit. They're owned by J.E. Dunn Construction, which is the largest construction contractor in the Kansas City area. So one of the largest in the state. G4 Outdoors, how are you doing, Randy, with G4 Outdoors? Just waking up. I showed a picture of the old Fosgate HX2 earlier that I now have mounted in my truck. So it is still around. And I guess anybody that's got these later model trucks, when you go to install a subwoofer and stuff in them, they're a nightmare, especially if you have the Bose system in it. So I can probably do a video on how I overcame some of that if you guys want to see it. It got to be pretty creative. The Bose system in these trucks, actually the electrical system in general, is pretty integrated. A lot of CAN bus stuff, and so you got to have some workarounds. But Taylor says he lives on the Illinois side of the river, though. Yeah, St. Louis is only about 4 hours away. So if you make it over this direction, yell at me. We'll do lunch or something. Drew Bradley says, have I ever looked into government surplus equipment like their retired cranes? I haven't personally, because I haven't really been in the market to buy a crane yet. I probably will at some point, if for no other reason, just to drop that hammer. But I think what I'll end up, if I do buy a crane, or I guess I should say when I do, because I'm sure it'll probably happen. First crane I would buy would be a Broderson IC200, and there's a reason for that. There's quite a bit of industrial work in our area, and a Broderson IC200 is irreplaceable in some of those situations. So the old carry decks, you can get a lot of return on investment out of a carry deck crane. You know, you can take a Broderson IC200, throw it out for $1,600 a week without an operator, and you can buy them used for 50 grand. So, you can make a Broderson pay for itself pretty quick, more so than a lot of the bigger hydros and whatnot, and with significantly less maintenance. And that would be my suggestion to anybody that's looking to get into the crane world. Buy a smaller boom truck or a carry deck crane. If you've got a lot of industrial in the area, carry deck crane would be the way to go. And then if you don't have a lot of industrial in the area, smaller boom truck would be the way to go. Mike Manfred, how are you doing? Tell Charles I said hello. And I guess, if I had to go out today and buy a boom truck, I would probably buy something in the 45, 50 ton capacity range. And the reason for that is you can substitute a bigger crane for a smaller crane, but you can't substitute a smaller crane for a bigger crane. With a 50 ton or even like a 55 ton National or a 50 ton Manitex, you can send it out as a 50 ton, you can send it out as a 35 ton. As long as you can fit it in the space you need to use it, you can pretty much charge what you want, so you can always keep it relatively busy. And then you get into the all-terrains and RTs, and that's when things start getting pretty serious. You wrap up $1 million in a used crane, and you better be committed to making your crane business successful. Let's see, make sure I haven't missed anybody. I'm still trying to figure out how, these comments on here. Oh, Kirian's got the virus. Can't get behind the slings. How's that going? There's so much out there in the world as far as information and misinformation. And so Kirian, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, says they've got the virus. How is it? Give us some firsthand insight on what you're going through. And I know it affects everybody differently, but I figured the whole virus thing would come up eventually. And, our business has been deemed essential, so I haven't really slowed down. Pretty easy to social distance yourself when you can close the door of the cab. But, you get on the old Facebook, and you can find anything you want, from conspiracy theories to articles you think might be true to complete and total BS to, everybody has turned into an immunologist. Yeah, you name it, it's out there. And it's pretty frustrating, really. Got to check on the old cameras. 2 of the 3 are charged. If you guys want to see all the crap that I lug around just to record some video.
Anything from the store?
Nope, I'm good. You want to say hi to everybody? You are on YouTube. Whether you like it or not, you're on YouTube.
Okay, so I'm going to say, do you need anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
That's one way
Dogs in here with the dogs.
Okay. It's one way to get Mrs. Top Crane on YouTube. Like Manfred, easy to social distance at the top of a 55-foot pole. That's true. Yeah, this whole virus thing, I don't know what to make of it. If you look at like some of the stuff that's gone on around the world, it's pretty astounding. But then you got to also, there's the conspiracy theorists out there. They're like, hey, those are fake pictures. Well, I guess unless you travel there, you don't know for sure. But Kieran says, got it last week, coughing and fever. Please take care. I'll just want to work by. Well, I hope you do okay with it. Wish you all the best and get well soon. I mean, if you could keep us updated on how you're doing. I'm trying to avoid it. I have to take the crane to a facility Monday that has 400 and probably 450 positive test results in it. So yeah, I'm gonna stay outside and stay in the crane. Michael Hartloff, how are you doing? Drew Bradley, we touched on steel versus composite sheaves. Safe to assume the plastic in a standard now, big stuff. Composite sheaves are pretty much the standard anymore. I like them. They don't wear your rope out as much. They're tough. The only thing they won't handle being bumped into things, and they do not like being side loaded. So person's really got to pay well, and you're not supposed to side load a crane anyway. So plastic sheave shouldn't matter in that regard. And you're not supposed to bump them into stuff, whether they're steel or composite makes no difference in that regard. But they are less durable when it comes to stuff such as that, but they wear well. I would imagine they're lighter and they don't wear on your rope as bad. So that's my take on the composite versus steel sheaves. So Walter Benson, bring a big oxygen bottle with me to work. I'll just set the crane up and sit in it. Then I don't have to worry about it. And the place we're going to, I can't record in there. I don't know. I may try to get creative and see if I can record without showing the facility, but maybe show what we're doing. I don't know. We'll see how it works out, but it's going to be a pretty big pick. It's well, pretty big pick for that crane. About 28,000 pounds at about an 85-foot radius, 82 to 85-foot radius, and setting it up in the air about 50 feet. So it's going to be a good one. Mike Manford working on the hammer today, working on the hammer tomorrow, working on the truck today. I got another pick coming up Thursday or Friday that's going to be a fun one. We've got to take the jib off of the crane. I think we got to take it off the crane. We're still working out the logistics on that, but we got to set up in the middle of a street. So we're going to have the roads closed. We're going to be on a little bit of an incline. So we're probably going to have, depending on how we set the crane, we may have some extra dunnage under some outriggers. But I've got a building. I'm going to be setting a unit on a building that's about 100 feet tall, and the unit has to set about 65 feet back from the roof edge. And I'm only going to be about 30 feet from the building. So it's going to be kind of a challenge to get the kind of radius I need that close to the building, so I won't be able to boom down very far. But we'll see how it goes. I'm sure we'll work it out. There's going to be a lot of math and measuring and range diagram work and all that. D. McDonald, last tank lift was second biggest lift with the Tadano. It was, in fact. Kieran said, love your videos. Been watching old ones that make me laugh, by the way. I'm in the UK. Yeah, my first attempts at video editing were not stellar. And really, even, I don't know, maybe I'm overcritical on myself, but video editing is still my Achilles heel. It's not something that I feel I'm really good at. I would like to produce better content. Um, I'm not overly computer savvy, so I think kind of where I'm at is about where things might plateau, and I don't know as far as quality. Um, Randy with G4 told me, he's like, dude, you could just upload 15-minute videos like Let's Dig, and just do one every 2 days, and you'd be killing it on YouTube. And I don't I don't like to do that. Mike Hartloff says I like the videos that are more real than edited to death. And I keep as much of the real stuff in a video as I can without making it mundane. Um, there's certain stuff that, if I'm just sitting in the cab, I'm not going to leave the camera rolling. Or, there are things that I edit out, whether it's language or if it's gonna get or could get someone in trouble. I try to take some of that stuff out. But for the most part, what you guys see in the videos is it. That's pretty much how the day has gone. But it's difficult for me to take a 10-hour day and condense it into a 15 or 20-minute video. It's a lot of cutting and splicing and trying to make things run seamless. And unless you're a video creator, it's probably hard to grasp how difficult it is to take 10 hours worth of footage or 8 hours worth of footage and turn it into a 15 or 20-minute video. Mike Manfred said, Let's Dig did a time lapse in one video this week. That's unusual for him. And, realistically, I probably could stick a camera to the top glass, record 15 minutes of what we're doing, but and then just bring it home and throw it on the computer and upload it. But really, what would I be presenting with that? So, hey, here's 15 minutes of the crane picking something up and setting it. I didn't show you anything as far as, you know, I wouldn't show really any of the details. And I know I get asked a lot, hey, do more setup video, and I've explained that that's difficult for me to do because the customer's paying for the crane, and it's hard for me to run around and set cameras up and whatnot when the customer's paying for it. So um, I think what I've been turning out is about what we're going to have as far as videos on the channel, as far as quality of content. Um, I would really like to do some more 3 camera setups like I did on those rail cars, where I had the aerial view, the in cab view, and then um, what other view was that? Oh, I had one out the windshield, one pointing at me on the controls, and then one up on the end of the boom. I'd like to do some more of that, but that is a nightmare to edit. The more cameras you get involved, the longer it takes. And really, in my opinion, and you can hate me for this opinion or not, if you just take a camera and you stick it in your window and you hit record, and then you take that 15 or 20 minutes of video and you don't do anything with it and you just throw it on YouTube, that to me is lazy. And it's to me it's doing it all for the views, not because you want to actually share what you're doing with someone. It that to me it's lazy, and I don't like it. No, call me old fashioned. I would rather put a little bit of effort into it. I'd rather turn out less videos with better quality than go off of uploading a video every day or every other day, a lesser quality video, just because you're trying to get views and earn ad revenue. That to me, I'd rather not do that. So that's why I don't. Let's see. Hunts M, what would you recommend me doing if I want to become an operator? The way I did it is join your local union. I mean, that's one. The other is you can try to find a company that's what they do, is either cranes or other heavy equipment, and try to get hired on with them and move up the ranks as you can. But jumping into the operators union is a good place to start. Taylor Haldridge says we appreciate what you're doing. Drew Bradley, I believe you're creating educational content than clickbait content. Slower growing but strong membership though. So did you say I'm making clickbait content, or I'm making more educational content instead of clickbait content? Hunt Sim says, thank you. I want to try to join 825. I heard you have to know someone to get in. Not necessarily. If you bring a decent skill set or the right attitude, and persistence pays off. If you can be persistent but not annoying, and bring some stuff to the table, that will go a long ways. I'm not a fan of people getting where they are because of who they know. Honestly, when I got in the operators union, I've got some family that has been in the operators for years and years and years. And my dad asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you want me to call them and have them put in a word for you?" And I said, "No. I want to get into something or advance myself because of what I know and what I can bring to the table, not because of who I know." Because, realistically, um, someone that comes into a situation or has someone vouch for him and says, "Hey, you need to bring this guy in because I know him, not because of what he knows, but because I know him." I don't feel that's being honest to the person that's advancing themselves, and it's not being honest to the trade. So, try to advance yourself because of your skill set and your abilities, not because of people. So, hope that makes sense. That was probably pretty muddy, but Drew Bradley says you make educational content and not the clickbait stuff. Educational content seems to always have stronger and more loyal membership. And really, that's what I'm shooting for. I didn't create this. Oh, I'm gonna have to call you back. I didn't start this channel to be an educational channel, but it's kind of traveled in that direction. So I don't mind rolling with it. I also don't want to open myself up for the potential, hey, this is the way he did it and said you should do it. The information I put out there, apply it if it applies to you. But just know there's a lot of ways to do different things. Now, on the flip side to that too, I have learned that the people that join this channel are very engaged. Especially, you get on a live stream and you get 25 or even 80 or 100 people commenting on a live stream, or all of the comments that I get on videos. Everybody's very engaged. So I think it does make a difference when you're making content that's real and you're doing it because you want to spread a certain message or whatever, as opposed to just trying to gain views. Mike Manford, and I know I've seen what you're saying firsthand, and it shouldn't be that way, but you know. So what you see with me is what you get, and people either love me or they hate me, and I'm probably still going to wake up the next day regardless. But that's kind of the way I roll, even on this YouTube thing. Hunts and the heavy equipment classes should help, right? They absolutely should help. Even reading articles and studying and knowing the ins and outs to stuff. One of the biggest things that I stressed to my kids when they were little is literacy. To me, literacy is more important than anything else. Being able to read and comprehend what you're reading and apply it is more important than any other skill that you could learn. Because if you can read and comprehend it, then you can teach yourself to do anything. The information's out there, especially in the era that we live in. So being able to read and comprehend is the utmost importance. With that being said, do some research and read some articles and get some books, and you know, get a subscription to some heavy equipment magazines or crane magazines, and study up on that stuff, because that's still knowledge, and knowledge is power, and that's what should get a person noticed. So you can't learn too much. And also, when you do get into this trade, or really any trade, don't ever feel like you're done learning, like that you know everything, because as soon as you get in your head that you know everything, especially when it comes to cranes, that's when you're going to have a problem. Complacency kills, and there's a distinct difference between confidence and arrogance, and I know sometimes those two can run pretty close together, but I've been around some operators like, hey, I know all there is to know about it, and those are the ones you don't want to be around. Hans said, I agree. I'm only 17. I like to learn something before I pursue it. I've learned a lot so far, but I by far don't know everything. I'm always up to learn. Shane Davis says, do a video about calculating deductions and how those tell you if your crane is set up properly. I think I've done one that's pretty similar to that, but I could do another one. Actually, I'll see if I can do it on that real live. I'll see if I can do it live on that in that facility that I can't record in on Monday or Tuesday. I can get the load charts out and do some measuring, and actually I'll try to do it. It might be difficult, but I'll try to do something in the crane, real time, how I'm doing, or why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how I've come up with those figures. So that could work out. Walter Madsen, do you need a garage door opener on your side of the garage? So I've got one door opener over there, which is an old one, and then I've got that one there, which is it's a pretty nice one. It's a Chamberlain. I think it's a Chamberlain. Yeah, Chamberlain. It's got battery backup. I can connect it to my internet and open and close it from anywhere that I've got signal and all that good stuff. But Warp 65, read and comprehend things that have been translated to English can be difficult. I can understand that. Mike Manfred, I love it when I can show the next generation some little things to make their life easier at work. And that's a fact. And you guys have heard me say this. If you've been following along for the last few years, you guys have heard me say it over and over again. It's my responsibility to pass my trade on. I'm not training a replacement. I'm training the next generation of people that will hopefully fund my retirement. So any good operator, if they're a good operator, they don't have to worry about being replaced. It's our duty to pass information along to the next generation. I feel it is. Some people, they don't want to train other people because they're afraid they're training their replacement. But really, if you're a decent operator, you don't have to worry about being replaced. So anyway, we've been going for an hour and a half. I got to get this truck started. I got to get going on this project. So what do you guys think of the garage thing? Should I do the whole live stream from the garage more often? I mean, it's something different. The phone doesn't seem to be working too bad. It's kind of hard to keep up on comments just because they pop on the screen and then they're gone. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. And then I'm still thinking about redoing the whole crane cave.
I don't know. We'll see. Drew says, very good. This was fun. Either or, it's all good. Taylor says, need to get off here. Jimmy, good talking with you. I need to get off here too. I mean, I got a couple hours worth of work. I got to take my hitch out and everything else just to put these in. So, anyway, oh, Billy laptop. Thank you for that. This is almost missed your live stream. Hope all is well. Billy laptop will be interested in the Motorcycle Mondays thing I'm thinking about doing. So, Billy, I'm gonna strap a camera to the old scooter and ride around town and upload some various videos from different places in town. I'm gonna try to do that maybe on every other Monday or some Mondays. We'll see. So you guys don't be surprised if you see a video pop up on a Monday that says Motorcycle Mondays. You'll know what it is. King 2042, maybe a laptop would make life a little better for you. I could get a laptop just for doing this kind of stuff. So anyway, Billy laptop, since you're on here real quick, the first place I'm going to ride through that you will be familiar with will be Krug Park. So be on the lookout for that. Also, I'm figuring out that this beard with an open face motorcycle helmet kind of sucks because it bounces around all over the place. But anyway, that's another dilemma to solve. But with that being said, Mike Manford do the Top Motor Mondays. The laptop used to ice skate there. Yeah, I'll get you some footage of riding through Krug Park. We'll upload that soon. I may, before I start this truck project, I could throw a camera on the scooter and go make that happen quick, fast, in a hurry. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, with that, thanks everybody for tuning in and being part of all of this. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting with all you guys, and I'm gonna mix things up a little bit, throw some different stuff on the channel here and there, just because all we've been lifting is tanks, cell towers, and houses, and we're gonna break that up a little bit. So with that, I'm gonna get started on this. Thanks everybody. Have a safe week. Two Top Crane is out.